Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Wednesday, November the 20th, going from top to bottom. That's how these boards work. The Winter Classic jerseys revealed. Chicago and St. Louis will be facing off on January the 1st. I do really like the Chicago ones a lot. I think they're very nicely done. It's basically a red version of the reverse retro that I'm wearing here from a few years back. It does have different elements than this jersey does, absolutely, and there's some tie-ins with the Chicago Cubs, for instance, the way it's thrown together. It looks very nice. The St. Louis one is what people call clean. A lot of the times, I'll see people going, "Oh, that jersey sure is clean," and I look at it and go, "It's kind of plain." I guess clean just means it's just kind of plain, and that's how I feel with the St. Louis one. I did look on the NHL shop; they are available, both jerseys right now. I will not be purchasing them at $250 each. My cost. Yeah, that's a little out of my price range at this point in time. So unless somebody that I get jerseys through is able to offer me one at a cheaper price, I will be skipping the Winter Classic jerseys this year. It's one of those things where I have to look and I have to say, is it worth the cost? And if the answer is not really, I'm going to have to say no. And with prices being where they are, and some of the stuff like $60 for a hat, $90 for a T-shirt. Anyways, yeah, $90 for a T-shirt. These are strange times. So if you're able to get the Winter Classics, go for it. I may be sitting this one out. I don't know yet. So getting into other NHL news, Patrick Laine joins the team today, the team being Montreal, of course, for a team session. So he was out there for the morning skate, and it's the first time he's been able to do that since the injury he suffered a couple months back. We're getting into the range where he was expected to come back, so we're getting close to that time where him coming back is expected. So that could be big. Montreal has been playing a little better lately, so maybe if you get Laine back and he's able to do well right out of the gate, maybe Montreal goes on a bit of a run here, makes things interesting. Alex Ovechkin has been placed on the injured reserve by the Washington Capitals. Miroshnichenko has been recalled. I like Miroshnichenko, and so we'll see where he fits into the lineup and what kind of ice time he gets, and how many times I have to write his name on the board because he gets a goal or an assist. My guess is it's going to be at least a couple of times. So yeah, we'll see how things go. Ovechkin's expected to be out for a bit here, but Washington has played well when Ovechkin's not necessarily playing his best. Over the last year and a half, at times when it's a little bit slower for Ovechkin, other guys have picked up the slack for Washington, so I would expect that to happen again. Max Domi's been placed on injured reserve by Toronto. He's dealing with a lower body injury. He's not expected to be out for very long. They've even made the IR placement retroactive to last Sunday, so he can play this Sunday if need be. Grabenkin has been recalled. He had a very solid preseason, so this is where that good preseason comes in handy. It means that when a team needs to make a recall, you are near the top of the list because you had that strong preseason, and it sticks in the memories of coaches and general managers when you do. David Jiricek. So this is an interesting situation with the Columbus Blue Jackets. The worst kept secret is that Jiricek's on the trade block, and trying to get trade value is going to be difficult right now because he hasn't been playing. He has now been sent down to the AHL along with Putia. Putia had I think just the one goal so far this season. But Jiricek's the big name on the board, and I think it's really a case of they're probably going to ask more than other teams are willing to spend. And in order to increase interest in Jiricek, he's got to play, and he's got to play big minutes. So you got to send him down to the AHL, get him some games with the Monsters, and maybe that improves his value. Maybe other teams up the offer, or maybe you drop the demand. Maybe they're asking for too much for Jiricek. But for a Columbus team that at times this season has looked pretty good, getting good value for Jiricek could be important because I don't think Columbus is that far off from being actually a half decent team. So we'll see when Jiricek gets traded and what that looks like. But let me know your thoughts. If you're a Columbus fan, how do you feel about the idea of trading Jiricek? And as a fan of another team, how would you feel about your team picking up Jiricek? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. The Four Nations rosters. This has just been confirmed today by the National Hockey League. We had this information a while ago, but I figured I'd throw it on the board. So December the 4th, we'll know the rosters for Four Nations. Which, again, and I've talked about this before, it does seem weird to have a tournament where it's best on best and everybody's talking about how great it's going to be, and it's going to miss guys like Kopitar, and Kucherov, and Draisaitl. But hey, so Finland and Sweden, their rosters will be revealed at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on December the 4th. That'll be via NHL Network in the U.S. and Sportsnet in Canada. And then at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, Canada and the USA, their rosters will be revealed. That'll be on TNT in the US and Sportsnet in Canada. And so we'll know who's going to be in this Four Nations tournament, which they are talking about a lot. Like, they're talking about this a ton. And again, if there was a way to get Draisaitl, Kopitar, Kucherov onto the ice, maybe if Canada could use the Russian goalies, like something like that, because there's been a lot of discussion about the Canadian goaltending and whatnot. I've gone back and forth on whether or not I'll do like a projected roster for each country. But since I haven't made the internet angry enough in the last little while, sure, I can do some kind of look at the rosters and who I think should make it based on how they're playing this year. That way I can just, get all that. I can't believe you hate this team because you left this guy out. All right, but yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I can't shake the fact that they're having this best on best, talking about how great it is, and guys who would have played in the All-Star game this year are going to be left out because of which country they're from, which is just weird. I get it on some level, but it's odd. So Seth Jones for the Philadelphia Flyers. I just traded Seth Jones. There you go. For Chicago, his foot is going to keep him out 4 weeks. Last night I thought Chicago played all right. They've got some pretty good defensemen there. Vlasic is going to be fantastic for Chicago for a long time. So while they're going to miss Seth Jones' offense, I think Vlasic, honestly, right now, if I had to choose between the two defensemen, I'd probably pick Vlasic. Mrazek is set to play tomorrow for the Chicago Blackhawks against the Panthers. Mrazek was not dressed last night. They said it was for personal reasons. I haven't seen what those are. That could be anything from, wife having a baby to just as personal. It's none of your business. So Mrazek is set to play tomorrow against Florida, and hopefully he's rested up because Florida's going to be angry for that game tomorrow against Chicago. I'm anticipating a pretty lopsided score there. Florida's not going to be happy. They lost back-to-back against New Jersey, and now they've lost against Winnipeg. They're not going to be a happy team at all. Broberg. So good news for St. Louis fans to close this one out. Even though they lose Kapanen on waivers yesterday to Edmonton, Broberg is apparently ahead of schedule, or could be ahead of schedule. He's dealing with a lower body injury, and he's skating. So the fact that he's skating on said lower body injury is a good sign that he may not be out for much longer. And for St. Louis, they could really use him back. You could see the difference in their attack last night with Thomas back in the lineup. I would imagine having Broberg back in the lineup would make a big difference to that defense and the offense from the defense as well. So, yeah, I'm sure Blues fans are looking forward to Broberg being back, and if he's ahead of schedule, that's probably something they're going to be quite happy about as well. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.